What's up guys, it's Eric from Rare Candy and welcome back for the fifth and final round of the recent Standard Format League Challenge I got to go attend at Cape Fear Games in Wilmington, North Carolina. So if you guys did miss it, we did upload rounds 1 through 4 already, so definitely be sure to check below in the description for the links to those if you did miss them. So here in the final round, we have a player on the left who did wish to remain anonymous, but he's going to be playing a Malamar deck. And over on the right, we have Mauricio Bojorquez. He's going to be playing a very interesting deck. It's Weavile, Shrine of Punishment, Haunch Crow, Garbodor, I think if I remember correctly. Basically just a bunch of non-GXs that can dish out a bunch of damage in addition to Shrine of Punishment. So we'll have to see how this one is going to go. And looks like our player on the left there is going first, starting with a Mimikyu. Has a Necrozma GX on the bench, Donwing's Necrozma GX, and an Inkay as well. And getting that first turn Lily, definitely another good play from him, allowing him to set up pretty quick here. And he does have an Acrobike in his hand as well, so we are going to see that. It's hard to see. He has Mysterious Treasure, and I cannot tell. Okay, the other card he got rid of is a Tapu Lele, so he can use this other Mysterious Treasure even to grab himself maybe a second Inkay. I think that could be consideration here. So I have to see how this matchup is going to go, just because I think this odd Weavile deck is going to be maybe favored. Just because this Necrozma GX is going to need 3 energy to take a knockout. Black Ray GX is not that effective in this matchup, and also this Dawnwing's Necrozma is going to be weak to Weavile as well. So here we are going to see a Shrine of Punishment come down, and then a Cynthia. So Shrine of Punishment is a new card from Celestial Storm. It's a stadium card, puts 1 damage counter on each player's Pokemon EX and GX between turns. So that is going to start to spread a little damage around. So let's see what else Mauricio can manage to find. He does have an Oricorio on his bench as well. I just want to point that out. Definitely not a card we see too often in standard format. It's typically a card that's much more popular and expanded to deal with decks like Night March or Vespiquen, just as an example. But it looks like Mauricio found a pretty good hand off of this Cynthia, finding a couple more Sneasels and a Murkrow as well. So we are going to see this Sneasel use its first attack, I believe it is. If you go second on your first turn, you can discard an energy from one of your opponent's Pokemon. So getting rid of a Psychic Energy, but not too useful here just because Malamar can get those energies right back into play. So let's see, we do see 2 Malamars come into play, but let's see what he's going to grab. He's going to get a Marshadow off of this Mysterious Treasure, so maybe he did not have a Tapu Lele in there to grab a Cynthia or something, or maybe just kind of opting to maybe try to avoid benching Leles to get around things like this Shrine of Punishment and Weavile. So Weavile also, he is playing the Rule of Evil one, not the Evil Admonition one, but the one he's playing, it does 60 to each Pokemon with an ability, so definitely would be more beneficial to have that damage done to a Marshadow as opposed to a Tapu Lele. So let's see, unfortunately, I don't think our player here on the left is going to be able to have what he needs to put on some pressure onto this Sneasel. He can get 2 energy out of the discard with his Malamars, but he does not have a way to actually do some damage here. So let's see where he's going to opt to do his attachments. It looks like he is eyeing down attaching to his Dawnwing's Necrozma. Okay. And we're going to see another Psychic Recharge coming down onto Mimikyu and playing Altar of the Moon, which is going to not only allow him to get rid of this Shrine of Punishment, but retreat back into this Mimikyu and use that Filch attack, I believe it is, let you draw 2 cards. So seems like a good play there. So let's see how Mauricio is going to respond after this Shrine of Punishment, or after this Marshadow. But it looks like he found a supporter off of that Marshadow, so he is going to be able to jump right back in this game. And I'm sure he's going to be looking for a Weavile this turn to start putting some damage into play with Rule of Evil. So let's see what he finds here off of this Cynthia. Hard to tell. I think I see a rescue stretcher in his hand. Okay, we do see another Shrine of Punishment. Definitely a good card from Mauricio to find off of that Cynthia. And here, just I guess taking a peek, checking what all that our player over there on the left has used at this point as well. Not sure what he might be looking for in particular, maybe just checking for energy. And here he is going to evolve into Honchkrow. Honchkrow definitely could be a good cleanup attacker. Its second attack, I believe, for a DCE does 10 plus 10 for every damage counter your opponent has in play. So could definitely take a big knockout maybe at some point once it's spread a bunch of damage with Weaviles and Shrine of Punishment. So let's see what we're going to see here from this Malamar deck. It's hard to say. He doesn't have an energy to accelerate. Okay, so he is going to mainly retreat. I like this. He needs an additional energy to be able to attack with this Dawn Wings Necrozma. That's the bad thing about the situation that he's in. And, oh, he did find a Cynthia. Okay, I did not see that in his hand. So more than likely he is going to find himself a Psychic Energy here to be able to start putting on some pressure with this Dawn Wings Necrozma. But of course, the big thing he's going to have to watch out for, Dawn Wings is weak to Dark. And Mauricio plays a ton of Dark Pokemon. He plays the Weavile, he plays the Honchkrow. So I'm not sure how many prizes he's going to be able to net with this thing, but he needs to take at least 2 before it goes down. Here we're going to see an Acrobike. Looks like he drew into a Mysterious Treasure, and I can't quite make out what the other card is. Looks like it's a Malamar, discarding that. And I think I do see a Psychic Energy as well. So he is going to be able to definitely attack with that Dark Flash attack that Dawn Wings Necrozma has. So we're seeing the Mysterious Treasure, just thinning some cards out of his deck. I would imagine we're going to see an Inkay here. And we're going to see that Psychic Recharge, no doubt, coming back down onto that Dawn Wings Necrozma. We see a Marsh Shadow in hand as well. So that, who knows, maybe that'll be relevant at some point here in this match. But here we're just going to see Dark Flash take a knockout on Sneasel. Dark Flash does 120 damage for 3 Psychic Energy and goes through Resistance. Okay, so here we are going to see a Trubbish being promoted, so maybe he has a Garbodor in hand, or maybe he doesn't have too much to really work with, and he's just trying to sacrifice something this turn. We'll have to see. We're going to see Mysterious Treasure discarding Copycat, so okay, he must have a supporter if that's the case. So going for a Trashalanche. So maybe he didn't have Double Colorless Energy in his hand, otherwise I think I would have maybe preferred seeing Honchkrow actually attack this turn. Because right now Honchkrow, I believe, is going to be swinging for, what is that, 70 base damage. So 70 times 2, 140. I think that would... No, he'd be just 10 short. No, actually he would... He'd be at the correct amount after Shrine of Punishment. So maybe... I don't know. I think I would have preferred to see the Honchkrow get promoted in this specific situation. Or maybe it's damage on your opponent's bench and not the active. So... I forget. My memory on Honchkrow's attack is a little bit sketchy right now. But either way, I'd imagine we'll at least see this Dawn Wings Necrozma get softened up a little bit here this turn. So we're going to see a Trashalanche coming down for 120 damage. So it's that attack on Garbodor, 20 times the amount of items on your opponent's side of the field in their discard pile. So this is actually a situation where it's kind of a shame he doesn't have a Tapu Lele in play, because he could actually go for a Tapu Cure at some point as well here. And if he is able to power up Mimikyu, that actually could be a good attacker to go with as well, just because it only gives it 1 prize, and it can take a knockout on this Garbodor more than likely, since it can hit it for weakness. So let's see, I think we're just seeing a Cynthia here, or it could be a Copycat. One of the two, I'd imagine. Or maybe even Tate and Liza. Really not sure what Shuffle Draw support it was. More than likely a Cynthia, but it could be one of these others as well. So we are going to see, looks like 5? Okay. Or no, I think it's 6. It's hard to say. But anyways, he has a new hand, basically. And we are going to see a knockout on this Garbodor. And so I think now we're going to see Mauricio start to actually take some prizes. This Dawn Wings Necrozma is pretty badly damaged at this point right now. It looks like it has 170 damage, so this Oricorio can actually just kind of snipe around it and put some additional damage counters in play that way as well, and allowing the Shrine of Punishment to take the knockout for him. So this Oricorio does have an attack. It's place 1 damage counter on your opponent's side of the field for each Pokemon in their discard. Not sure how many he has in the discard, but I think it's a couple at this point. I have seen a few hit the discard pile. So let's see where he's going to opt to put these damage counters. We could even maybe see one damage counter on Mimikyu to set up a Rule of Evil, or sorry, not Mimikyu, but Marshadow to set up a Rule of Evil play on it. That could be one thing I would like to see, actually, maybe on the Marshadow and then on the other Necrozma. Okay, it looks like he's just doing all of the damage there. I guess that's okay. Like I said, kind of would have preferred to see it come down on the Marshadow, just because it has 70 HP and Rule of Evil won't actually be able to knock it out in one hit. So, but nevertheless, definitely a solid turn there for Mauricio. And we'll have to see how our Malamar player is going to be able to respond, because right now he's in kind of a tricky situation. He has this Necrozma GX, but he needs a way to be able to power it up and switch. But actually I believe he does have a switch in hand, if I'm not mistaken. So we'll have to see what route he's going to go. Looks like he's going to promote this Mimikyu. I think that's a solid Pokemon to promote here. You probably won't make use of Copycat on this turn, just because Copycat, it will allow you to copy the attack your opponent used on their previous turn. But yeah, I don't think he's going to want to copy, was it Revelation Dance, if I remember correct, Oricorio's attack. So it looks like he is opting to power up this Dawnwing's Necrozma, it appears. And he must have an energy in hand if he is... Okay, he's going to go for a Cynthia. Okay, so now it makes sense to me. But he really just has to watch out, because this Honchkrow will be able to actually take a knockout. So it's going to be a little bit sketchy for him to deal with, because even if he takes knockout on Oricorio, Honchkrow just needs a double Colress energy, and it can easily knock out this Dawnwings. Maybe a better play in this situation would have been to take a knockout with your Necrozma GX, and the next turn, once it gets knocked out and Mauricio goes down to just 2 prizes, then you come in with Dawnwings and you can use Moon's Eclipse GX to protect yourself for a turn while taking a knockout. I think that may have been a better line of play here, but we'll have to see what's going to happen. It really just comes down to, can Mauricio find double Colress energy? It's going to be a big card here. Didn't get a good look at his hand. Let's see, he did find himself another Trubbish, so starting to set up another Garbodor for at some point. And he does find a counter energy. That will do the trick. Since the Malamar player is ahead on prizes, counter energy will provide 2 of any type of energy, since he is behind on prizes in this situation. Normally it just provides it colors, but like I said, when you're behind, it gives you basically a double rainbow. And we're going to see a Cynthia here as well. And I have to say, I think Mauricio is in a good spot, since he is going to be able to take the knockout with Honchkrow this turn. Let's see what else he can find. We haven't seen a Weavile actually come down yet this game. I'm not sure if he has some prized or if he's just trying to keep them safe from Guzma knockouts. We haven't seen any of those come down onto the bench yet either. And here, like I said, I'd imagine we're going to see a knockout. Yep, it looks like that's what he's eyeing down. He will be able to take a knockout on that Dawnwings Necrozma, especially since it is weak to dark in this situation. And here, I think, I hate to say, I almost feel like that's all she wrote, because our Malamar player here still needs 3 more knockouts in order to be able to close out this game, whereas Mauricio only needs a single GX knockout to win. So maybe even a Tapu Cure could be a decent option for this turn, potentially. Just try to heal some of that damage off of this field. So if you can do that, I actually kind of like that play, because Honchkrow won't be of much use. But then still Garbodor, if he can find Garbodor, then in like a Rainbow Energy or Unit Energy, whatever he's playing, then that could be pretty bad for him. But here we're going to see a Cynthia, and we're seeing a Marshadow GX hit the bench. Okay, so definitely a Pokemon Garbodor can pretty easily clean up. I don't really think it's of too much relevance anyways, just because Necrozma GX also at this point can be knocked out by Garbodor, so it's probably safe benching the Marshadow. And okay, so he must be going for a Moon's Eclipse GX. I actually kind of like this if that is what he's going for. If he can power this thing up, we are going to see a switch. Does he have a third energy? He really needs that here. And unfortunately, he does not have it. Otherwise, I think that would have been a pretty powerful turn if he was able to copy Moon's Eclipse GX with that ability that Marshadow has. That would have kept him safe for a turn, allowing him to not only get a knockout this turn, but take a knockout the following turn as well, and maybe get him closer to closing out this game. So we are going to see a Garbodor come down. We just need to see an energy from Mauricio to power this thing up, and he will be able to take a knockout with Trash Lanch, winning the game, and actually winning the League Challenge if he is able to do that. And he does have the Psychic Energy, so now he can just retreat. But Guzma, that also works just as fine to being able to take a knockout with Trash Lanch. And so that means Mauricio is going to win actually the entire League Challenge 5-0 with this crazy Weavile Shrine of Punishment Garbodor deck that he brought to this event. So congrats to him. So yeah guys, I hope you enjoyed this matchup, and like I said too, if you did miss rounds 1 through 4, I will be sure to have some links down below in the description if you want to see those games as well. But as usual, feel free to like and subscribe, and if you can support this channel by becoming a patron over at patreon.com/rarecandytcg, or by picking up something from our online store at rarecandytcg.com, it really goes a long way to help ensure that we can travel to these events to bring you these games. But with that, I appreciate you watching, and we'll see you next time.